Organic chemistry is one of the most important part in 11th and 12th CBSE and also very important in the entrance exams like NEET and JEE. If you want to understand organic chemistry, we must know some of its basic concepts. To understand the basic concept of organic chemistry, this video is very helpful. So I request all of you to watch this video completely to know the concepts clearly without any confusion. Now here in organic chemistry what we can find, organic molecules are converting into product with the help of reagent, also called as attacking reagents. Now there are two types of attacking reagents we can find, electrophiles and nucleophiles. Let us learn one by one. First we will start with electrophile, which means electron lover. Electro means electron, phile means lover. Also we can say they are the electron deficient species. Electron deficient species are called as electrophiles. There are two types of electrophiles, positive and neutral electrophiles. Positive electrophile, you can see here examples. These are all the examples for positive electrophiles. Let us see why CH3 is considered as positive electrophile. Now in CH3 the carbon atom is surrounded by 3 bonds with hydrogen. 3 bonds is equal to 6 electrons. Now to become stable, 8 electrons must to follow octet rule to the carbon atom, as it is 2 carbon atom less, that's why it is positive electrophile. Similarly, for neutral electrophiles there will be no charge. For example, carbon dioxide and BF3. Carbon dioxide, even though it has total 8 electrons, total 8, 4 bonds means 8 electrons, but because of the presence of more electronegative oxygen, the electrons of carbon atoms are directed towards those oxygen atom. That's why carbon gets electron deficient and it is considered as neutral electrophile. In BF3 there are total 3 bonds, which means 6 electrons, and there is one empty p orbital. Because of that the boron has only 6 electron. It is also one of the neutral electrophile. And nucleophile means nucleus loving species, or they are considered as electron donor. They have electron, they are electron rich species. Example, you can find ammonia having lone pair of electron, OH minus, hydride ion, alkoxy RO minus, they are all negative nucleophiles. Neutral nucleophiles, they don't have charge, but because of the presence of lone pair of electron, one or more lone pair of electrons like in ammonia, water, alcohol, amine, because of the presence of lone pair of electron, they are considered as neutral nucleophiles. And most important nucleophile is ambident nucleophile, where you can find 2 attacking sites in this nucleophile. As in cyanide ion, you can find the lone pair of electron on nitrogen as well as on the carbon. Such type of nucleophiles are considered as ambident nucleophile, which is having 2 attacking sites. Now basic organic reactions, where we can find the reagents helps to convert the reactant into product, but in organic chemistry there will be a mechanism for each and every kind of reaction. So there, before forming a product, we can find the formation of intermediate, reaction intermediate, which is very unstable. Let us learn the type of different reaction intermediates. So these are the 5 different reaction intermediates, includes carbocation, carbene, free radicals, carboanion and nitrene. Let us start with carbocation. Carbo means carbon, cation means positive charge. You can find here example CH3 plus, C2H5 plus, they are all carbocation. Now for example in ethyl chloride, as we know here, you can find that there is a transfer of electron to the chlorine atom. The bonded electron between the carbon and chlorine, those electrons are shifting to the chlorine atom as it is more electronegative. By the heterolytic fission of the bond, then the carbon atom gets positive charge because of electron deficiency and chlorine gets positive charge. So As you can find positive charge on the carbon atom, then you can consider that as a carbocation. Similarly, carboanion means carbon atom having negative charge. Here you can find there is a negative charge on the carbon atom, so that will be considered as carb anion. Carb anion. The third reaction intermediate is free radical. Free radical means you can find unpaired electron on the species. For example, H with one unpaired electron, Br with one unpaired electron, methyl free radical, they are all free radical. Hydrogen free radical, bromine free radical. So these free radicals are formed when the molecules undergo homolytic fission. You can find between two chlorine atom, the bond breaks homolytically, and half-headed arrow indicates that both the species are getting one electron. Under the UV light, the chlorine molecule breaks to produce two chlorine atom with free electrons. They are considered as chlorine free radicals. Each chlorine atom which is having odd number of electron, they are considered as chlorine free radicals. Now carbene, very important, carbene means here you can find on the carbon atom one lone pair of electron. So here you can find in CH2N2, due to the release of nitrogen gas, you can find one lone pair of electron on the carbon atom, that is considered as carbene. Then another last intermediate is nitrene. In nitrene you can find two lone pair of electron on one specific atom. Presence of two lone pair of electron, that is considered as nitrene. Especially in the nitrogen, if you find two lone pair of electron, it is considered as nitrene. Then electronic effects are very important in this organic chemistry. To understand the electronic effect, you must see here, there is one example of this structure where you can find oxygen has negative charge because of more electron density, and these two carbon atoms has positive charge because of less electron density. Okay, oxygen negative charge because of more electron density, and carbon has positive charge because of less electron density. Now to such compound, as we know the basic concept, positive attracts negative, the oxygen having negative charge gets attracted by positive electrophile, and positive carbon atom attracted by negative nucleophile. So because of this electronic effect, four electronic effects we can find in organic compounds: inductive effect, resonance, hyperconjugation, and electromeric effect. These are the very basic terminologies that we need to learn. Let us start with inductive effect. Now here we have one compound, propyl chloride or chloropropane. Now here we must understand that chlorine is more electronegative than carbon atom. Chlorine atom is more electronegative than carbon atom. So like how magnet attracts nail, similarly this chlorine atom attracts the electrons present in the bond between carbon and chlorine. The bond between carbon and chlorine, those electrons are attracted by this chlorine atom. Because of that, chlorine electron density increases and carbon electron density decreases. That we can represent in the form of delta minus, partial negative charge on the chlorine and partial positive charge on the carbon atom. Like how magnet attracts the nearby nails very stronger and little bit weaker to the farer nails. Similarly, this chlorine electronegativity effect we can find in the remaining carbon atoms also, that we can represent it by partial delta positive, and the still farer carbon atoms we can represent partial positive charge, lesser effect we can find on those carbon atom. So this is considered as inductive effect because of the presence of more electronegative atom attached to the carbon atom, and this is a permanent effect. This is a inductive effect is a permanent effect. Now there are two types of inductive effect, minus I effect and plus I effect. Now minus inductive effect, negative inductive effect we can find due to the presence of electron withdrawing groups. Electron withdrawing groups like Cl minus, Cn minus, NO2 minus. If these groups are present to the carbon chain, they are going to withdraw the electrons and responsible for negative inductive effect. And in positive I effect, this is because of the presence of electron donating groups. Electron donating groups like methyl groups, ethyl groups. Because of the presence of these groups, electron donating groups, we can find positive inductive effect. Next, stability of the carbocation. Carbocation we have already learned, having positive charge to the carbon atom. Here we can find there is a positive charge to the carbon atom. Now we have to find the stability. Now children, you need to remember that carbocation is unstable. Whatever whether this is tertiary carbocation, you have tertiary carbocation, and this is secondary carbocation, both are unstable. Why they are unstable? Because of electron deficiency. They are deficient in electron, that's why they got positive charge. And to become stable, they need electron. To become stable, they need electron. Now in this tertiary carbocation, we can find 3 electron methyl groups, 3 electron donating methyl groups. These methyl groups are electron donating groups. So they donate electron to the carbon atom, and here in this case we can find only 2 methyl groups, only 2 electron donating groups. So the electron density will be lesser in this secondary carbocation, whereas in the tertiary carbocation the electron density is going to increase because of the presence of 3 methyl groups. So that makes the tertiary carbocation more stable compared to secondary and tertiary. Tertiary carbocation is more stable because of the presence of 3 electron donating groups. Then stability of carb anion. Carb anion means what? Negative charge on the carbon atom. Negative charge on the carbon atom. Now let us see the stability of this carbocation. We have tertiary carbocation and we have secondary carbocation. Now the electron density on the carbo anion is very high. In addition to that, if the 3 electron donating groups, 3 methyl groups, presence of 3 methyl groups, they also donate the electron to the carbon atom, and electron density is going to increase. Whereas in this secondary carb anion, only there are 2 electron donating groups, so we cannot find that much high electron density on this carb anion. So that makes the secondary carb anion is more stable than tertiary carb anion. That we have to remember. Then stability of the acid. If you see acid, we have carboxylic acid here, carboxylic acid group. So this hydrogen atom released as hydrogen ion, this hydrogen atom released as hydrogen ion, and responsible for acidic nature. Now we have to understand here stability. Now in this particular case of carboxylic acid, trichloroethanoic acid, we can find 3 chloro groups, and chloro groups are electron withdrawing group. Whereas in dichloroethanoic acid, we can find 2 chloro groups. So presence of more electron withdrawing group are going to withdraw the electrons and makes the bond, make the oxygen hydrogen bond weaker, and so that the hydrogen ion releases very easily. So that's why, as in this case there are 3 electron withdrawing groups, so this will be considered as a very good acid. And here only true electron withdrawing groups are there, so here the release of proton will be slower when compared to the trichloroethanoic acid. Now basic strength. So remember, wherever you find lone pair of electron, that will be considered as a Lewis base because they can able to donate those electrons. Now in addition to that lone pair of electron, we have 2 examples, trimethylamine and dimethylamine. In trimethylamine, it will be considered as a stronger base because it has 3 electron donating group to the nitrogen. In addition to this lone pair, it has 3 electron donating group, whereas dimethylamine has only 2 electron donating groups. That's why this trimethylamine will be considered as more stronger base. Let us come to resonance concept. Here you can see the structure of benzene, and in benzene we can find there is a delocalization of pi electrons. You can find the shifting of pi electrons. You can see the arrow marks here. Because of the shifting of those pi electrons, we can find this structure of benzene. And here again rearrangement of those bonds converts this benzene ring to this. So this process continues. You can find the interchanging. So that is considered as a resonance, and wherever we find resonance, there will be a more stability, and that shows conjugation also. So resonance makes the compound more stable. Now three types of conjugation we can find, conjugation responsible for resonance. One is pi conjugation. Here you can find there is an alternative double bond, single bond, like in benzene. In this compound also we can find the alternate double bond, so that is considered as pi conjugation. Whereas in this case we can find alternate pi bond and lone pair of electrons, so that's why it is considered as p pi conjugation, lone pair of electrons in the p orbital, that's why p pi conjugation. In another type of conjugation we can find double bond, and in adjacent to that there will be a carbocation. So these are the three types of conjugation. And here in this example we are not finding alternate double bond. See, double bond, single bond, two single bonds are there, there is no alternate double bond. Because of that, in such compounds we cannot find conjugation, and there will be no resonance. Then our important concept is hyperconjugation. In hyperconjugation, as you can see here, there is a carbon double bond, pi bond. It's a propene. This structure is propene, and adjacent to this carbon atom is considered as alpha carbon atom, and whatever the hydrogen atoms are there to this alpha carbon atom, they are considered as alpha hydrogen atom. The carbon atom next to this unsaturated carbon atom, this carbon atom is alpha carbon atom, and whatever the hydrogen atoms are there, they are considered as alpha hydrogen. Now in hyperconjugation, what happens, you can find here this carbon hydrogen sigma bond is going to shift between these two carbon atoms. You can find the arrow mark, the carbon hydrogen sigma bond, this sigma bond is going to shift here, and there is a creation of double bond. In order to maintain stability, the pi bond electron shift to this carbon atom, and you can find the lone pair of electron here. So this is called as hyperconjugation. So carbon hydrogen, alpha hydrogen, carbon hydrogen sigma bond shift between these two carbon atom. In order to maintain stability, pi electrons are going to shift to this carbon atom. Because of that, you can find double bond in these two carbon atom, and one lone pair of electron to this carbon atom. Okay, such structure is considered as hyperconjugation. Again, this will interchange to this will interchange to this is going to continue. That makes the compound stable. Wherever we are finding hyperconjugation, it is considered as, it is going to be makes the compound stable. And hyperconjugation also considered as sigma pi conjugation. Because of the involvement of sigma and pi bond, it is considered as sigma pi conjugation. And although there is no bond between these carbon and hydrogen, they are associated together because of the overlapping is still exists between the orbitals of carbon and hydrogen. The hydrogen orbital and carbon orbital are still overlapping is exist without electron. That's why it is possible to have that association. So that's why it is hyperconjugation, also called as no bond resonance. It is also called as no bond resonance. And also remember, as the number of alpha hydrogen atom increases in alkene, hyperconjugation will be more and stability will be more. We have four options here: 1, 2, 3, 4. In each case you can find the first case 3 alpha hydrogen, second case 6 alpha hydrogen, third case 9 alpha hydrogen, and in last case 12 alpha hydrogen atoms you can find. So because of that, wherever we are finding more alpha hydrogen atom, that will be more stable, and where we are finding less alpha hydrogen, that will be least stable. Next, electromagnetic effect. Let us understand the meaning of electromagnetic effect, which is considered as temporary effect. Whereas whatever the previous one we have learned, hyperconjugation, it is a permanent permanent effect, that is one. So here let us understand about electromagnetic effect, which is temporary. So here we have one compound AB, unsaturated compound, unsaturated alkene AB. So because of the more electronegativity of B than A, the pi electron shift to B, and we can find negative charge to B and positive charge to A. In the presence of reagent, what we can find is, because of the electronegativity difference, B is more electronegative. That's why the pi electron shift to B. from from the bonded electron shift to P. Because of that, B gets negative charge and A gets positive charge. This is considered as electromeric effect. Again, in the absence of reagent, again this is going to happen in the opposite direction, and it is going to reproduce the alkene A double bond B. So this process is going to continue. So it is electromeric effect. As in the absence of reagent, the reaction is going to reverse. That's why it is considered as a temporary effect. There are two types of electromeric effect: positive E effect and negative E effect. It depends on the reagent. If there is a presence of electrophile, it shows positive electromeric effect. If there is a presence of nucleophile, it shows a negative electromeric effect. Let us understand with the example. In positive electromeric effect, because of the presence of H plus is a electrophile. H plus is one of the electrophile. In the presence of that, what we can find, the double bond shift to this carbon atom. Because of that, this carbon atom gets positive charge and this one gets negative charge. Here we have represent. Now opposite charges attracts, the hydrogen ion attracts the negative carb anion, and the bond is going to create like this. So this is one positive E effect, electromeric effect. In negative electromeric effect, nucleophiles are going to attack, nucleophiles are going to take part. So in the presence of nucleophile, what happens in case of a carbonyl group, the double bond between carbon and oxygen is that pi electron shift to oxygen. Oxygen gets negative charge and carbon gets positive charge. So we will get this intermediate. Now to this intermediate, this cyanide groups is going to, negative cyanide ion attacks positive carbon atom, and we will get this product. That shows negative electromeric effect. So we know in organic reactions many types we can find. It may be substitution, addition, elimination, and rearrangement. These are the four types of organic reactions. Let us start with substitution. In substitution means one atom is going to replace by other. One atom replaces other. For example, if you take one methyl halide, it is going to, here X is replaced by Y, and because of that replacement you can find the substituted product. So this substitution may be of three types. It may be nucleophilic substitution, electrophilic substitution, or free radical substitution. In nucleophilic substitution, what happens? One nucleophile substitutes another nucleophile. So here the chlorine, in methyl chloride, the chlorine atom as chloride ion, it is going to substituted by nucleophile as a attacking reagent, and because of that substitution we will get nucleophilic substituted product. For example, in methyl chloride, the bond breaks asymmetrically. Because of that, carbon gets negative charge and carbon gets positive charge. Because of electronegativity differences, the carbon gets positive charge and chlorine gets negative charge. Now to that negative chlorine atom, nucleophile OH minus is going to substitute. So because of that, the product will be methanol, and chloride ion is going to release as leaving group. And in electrophilic substitution reaction, for example benzene, and to this benzene, one electrophile is going to substitute another electrophile. So from the benzene, hydrogen atom is released as hydrogen ion, and this electrophile is going to combine with the benzene to form chlorobenzene. And in free radical substitution, this chlorine molecule undergo homolytic fission to produce chloride free radicals, and one of the chloride free radical substitute with this methane hydrogen to form methyl chloride and hydrogen chloride. So in the presence of UV light, the chlorine molecule breaks symmetrically to produce two chlorine free radical. So one chlorine free radical is going to substitute one of the hydrogen atoms of methane to produce methyl chloride. Another chloride free radical combines with that hydrogen atom of hydrogen free radical of methane to form hydrogen chloride. In this way, substitution reaction is going to occur. In addition reaction, what happens? Triple bonds converts to double bond converts to single bond because of the addition reaction. So here we can find this is one propene unsaturated compound. Now if we add hydrogen bromide, In hydrogen bromide, bromine is negative charge and hydrogen is positive charge because of electronegativity difference. The bromide ion is going to attack this carbon atom and hydrogen is going to attack this carbon atom. It is based on Markovnikov's rule. So, and this rule says that the negative part of the hydrogen halide has to be attacked to the carbon atom having less hydrogen. According to that concept, we will get 2-bromopropane. Same reaction, but in the presence of reagent peroxide, anti-Markovnikov's rule is going to happen, and here the negative bromide ion is going to add to the carbon atom, unsaturated carbon atom having more hydrogen. In that case, we will get 1-bromopropane. Another organic reaction is elimination reaction, where the single bond becomes a double bond. Single bond becomes a double bond. Saturated becomes unsaturated. Here we have bromobutane. When we treat with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, we can find there is a release of bromine from alpha carbon atom and hydrogen from beta carbon atom. So we can find the release of KBr and H2O, and because of that, between these two carbon atom there is a creation of double bond. So here we can find the single bonded reactant converts to double bond product, that is elimination reaction. In rearrangement reactions, atoms are going to rearrange to get stability. As I already discussed, tertiary carbocation is more stable compared to primary and secondary. So here we have one primary free radical. This is primary carbocation. This is primary carbocation. This is primary carbocation. To become stable, this methyl group is going to shift to this carbon atom. Because of that shifting, we will get methyl group here, and this carbon atom gets positive charge. And this carbon atom having positive charge is considered as a tertiary carbocation, which is more stable. Tertiary carbocation is more stable than primary carbocation. Because of that, in primary carbocation there is a methyl shift and it will become tertiary carbocation.